Hey now everybody, I have not had a video out in quite some time, and there's a really good reason that is. I've got probably, I don't know, 80, 90, maybe 100 video snippets. Some of them only, 30, 45 seconds long, and others, several minutes long, of all the progress that has gone on the boat. Well, basically since the last thing that you saw, if you've been following along, all the way up to present, which is the transom in, the stringers are built and ready to go in. I'm just waiting on some good weather. That's, that's been the case for a while, but there was a problem, a big problem, and as a public service announcement, I'm going to encourage all of you guys who might be doing something similar to be much smarter than I was. So here's the story. I had a Western Digital external hard drive, 1 terabyte in size. The thing's smaller than a pack of playing cards, maybe half as thick, but about that size. And it's worked great. It had all kinds of capacity for all my videos, and I had pictures of the kids and the dogs, and you name it, it was on there. And it was easy to transport around and plug in wherever I was, so that worked great. And a few weeks ago I started thinking, I don't really have a backup of all this stuff, or at least not a cohesive one, and it would probably be a good idea to pay whatever it is to update my Google Drive or Dropbox, and just have a dump for a backup in case anything ever happened to the hard drive. Well, because I didn't act on that quickly enough, Murphy, you all know who Murphy is, came along and said this would be a really good time for this hard drive to no longer work. And so it wasn't recognized by the computer. Tried a different computer, didn't work. Went online, found all the ways to identify problems. The most likely one was a bad cord. New cord didn't do the trick. Okay, now I'm really stuck. So I went online, found some recommendations for data recovery people. I sent the hard drive off to an outfit in Kansas, and they were great customer service, but the long story short is that they looked into it, they opened it up, and they said, oh, we're going to need some parts, and it's going to be $2,300 to recover my data. I don't have that kind of money. It just is not in the cards for me to pay out $2,000, as precious and dear as all those old photos of my kids and softball and vacations and everything else. I just don't have that kind of scratch. So the next step was I started asking around people that I know are in computers, and I actually might have found somebody. My fingers are still crossed. The package is on the way now, and I'll update you as I find out if this guy is Miracle Max and can bring me my data back. So the moral of this story, if you're in any situation like me, is back your damn data up. At this point, I would pay double or triple whatever Dropbox wants to charge if I could go back in time and do that step that I thought of. Okay, so what have I been doing lately? Well, I got a a real nice lesson on how to rebuild my outdrive. A family friend, somebody I was introduced to, used to run a marina down in Chestertown, Maryland. He's an older gentleman, and we got talking boats, and he offered to put me in touch with some people who could help me as I progressed through the stages of rebuild. So I'm paying my way for all this, bought all the parts, which came to about $700, I think. Of course, new gaskets and seals, new impeller, new shift cable. What else? Now there's probably a couple other parts that the trim senders. Anyway, he was very good in helping me get all the new parts, and he's a Volvo Penta mechanic, so he was able to use his discount, which I'm eternally grateful for. It still was a whole lot more money than I thought it was going to be just for parts. But the most important and greatest gift that he gave me was probably 4 or 5 hours of his time, and we went through all the different steps and the tools needed and so forth to rebuild. He loaned me a couple tools. He's just been a fantastic resource, and I just can't thank him enough. I don't know if he wants his name out there, so I'm not going to until I ask him. But in any case, of course, I videotaped all the steps of doing the outdrive, and guess where where those files are. So that's one thing. I've also been working on the risers and the manifolds, descaling them. I bought an air-powered descaler, and I had some plugs, NPT plugs that were in the manifolds that were just totally rusted shut. And so I've been drilling them out, retapping them. Some of them were so badly damaged that I actually had to drill to the next size. So that's been keeping me busy. And the other big project is the seats. At the end of last year's fiberglassing weather, I was starting to coat all of the plywood and the different pieces that I had cut out, and hopefully you'll see those videos coming up. But I've also got the 2x2 Douglas fir pieces that I had milled, and I'm going to put a nice radius on the outside of that, so as people get tossed around in a boat, as things will happen, nobody gets cut on a sharp corner. So I've been working on all the corner pieces, using the table saw and the router and the sanders, making all kinds of sawdust and noise and smoke and everything else. So my wife has been working second shift again as a nurse, and so real proud of her for that. But because she's not home most nights, or 5 out of 7 I guess, I've been actually getting a lot of work done on those pieces, so I want to bring all that to you. So the other thing I wanted to kind of mention at this point, which I haven't talked about before, is the video editing process to get these tapes, these videos to you. It's a real process. It's a time-consuming piece that I didn't think was going to be quite so much, but it is. The software piece was another mountain to climb. First of all, what to use. You know, there's all kinds of different products out there. Some of them are real pricey. You know, you can spend $1,000 on video editing software. I didn't have that kind of money. As you might know already, I'm on the cheap side. Frugal, I like to say. But I did find a product called Filmora, and for 50 bucks, I was able to download it. It had real good reviews for usability and robust features for an entry-level editing piece. So everything that you've seen so far has been edited with the Filmora. I'm getting much better at it, different effects that I'm able to use, and of course how long it takes me to edit each video has been getting less and less. So just wanted to share that little piece while I got a minute to talk about anything other than the project at hand. Last thing I'll leave you with is I'm wearing my Make Old Boats Great Again t-shirt. I love this thing. I mentioned a long time ago some of the YouTube videos that I had watched to learn how to do all the different steps. One fellow was named Jay Mink, and if you search for Jay Mink in YouTube, you'll find he's got a lot of different variety of YouTubes, but he redid, I think it was about an 18-foot, I think it was a Glastron bow rider. And you know, he did the new stringers and floor, and I think the transom as well. I like his videos, and he advertised the t-shirt, so I bought one. I get a lot of compliments on it, so if you want one, go to his site and you can get one too. That's about it for now. I will leave you to a pleasant evening, and I'm hoping to be able to recover all those videos that I shot, because there's an awful lot of things that I did that I haven't shown you, and I really want to share all that stuff. So enough for now. Hasta la vista.